Also, these shrimp are frozen. How am I gonna grill these? I don't know. Howdy y'all, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. As you can see today, this setting is a little different, and that's because I'm gonna be doing something a little different. So in case any of y'all didn't know, I just figured out where I'm going to college 2 weeks ago. If you follow my Instagram, you know where I'm going. But if you don't, just stay tuned and you'll find out where I'm going to college. It confused a lot of people why it took me so long to make a decision and to figure out where I'm going, and so I wanted to explain it. It's obviously not going to be a short story, so I was like, why not cook? Because I haven't eaten lunch, I'm hungry, you want to see some good food, so we're gonna do that. For lunch today, I decided to make a charred shrimp and avocado salad because we're on that healthy grind, and it sounded really good. I literally love shrimp, so. I just got back from tennis, so I'm going to shower and get groceries. Also, y'all, peep the shoes. Wow. Wow. Looking fresh. Sponsored. Yet. All right, so here we have all our ingredients. We have olive oil, shrimp, pineapple, cucumber, salt and pepper, avocados, and our base for our salad, which I'm using spinach. That wasn't what the recipe called for. All right, so the first thing I'm going to be doing is peeling off the tails of all of these shrimp. And while I'm doing this, I'll also explain to you kind of what tennis means to me. Also, peep the glasses. I love them. Wow. I'm taking these off. Oh, I need to put my hair back. I'll be right back. All right, so I'm gonna start with my kind of tennis story and how it all started. Basically, I had played tennis for like a year when I was around 6 years old, and it was just me just kind of trying it out because my parents had us play pretty much every sport possible because they wanted us to choose for ourselves what we wanted to play. When I got to age 11, I had, played soccer for 5 years. Wasn't really going many places with that. And I had tried out all the other sports, and I decided that I wanted to start taking tennis seriously. So in around 6th grade, I started, training 4 to 5 days a week and starting to play tournaments. And obviously, y'all know, or you might not, that I'm from Texas. So the way that the Texas tennis system works is there are 3 levels of tennis players. So the beginner level is called challenger, and then the middle level is called champs, and then the highest level is called super champs. And once you're a super champ, you can start playing national tournaments and get nationally ranked. So that is one type of ranking system that they have. I became a super champ, and still am to this day. And I would play tournaments 1 to 3 times a month during the weekends. So I started getting pretty serious about it. Also, they do the rankings by age group. So if you're 15 and 16, you'd play in 16 and unders. If you're, 18 or 17, you'd play in 18 and unders, so on and so forth. In 16 and unders, I reached top 60 in the state. And then when I was 16, I started playing the 18 and under tournaments because I knew that is what college coaches look at, your ranking there. I've played national tournaments. I play a lot of Texas tournaments. My goal was always to just do well, and I wanted to be top 30 in Texas in 18 and unders. There's also another type of ranking, which is called UTR, which is relatively new. It stands for Universal Tennis Ranking, and it applies to everyone in the whole world on the same point system. When this ranking came out, nobody really paid attention to it because coaches used to mainly look at national ranking and state ranking or section ranking. Texas is just so big that it's its own section. But eventually, what I've come to find out is that college coaches will basically only really care about your UTR, which is fine because I respect the system. It's pretty good. So yeah, that's kind of my relationship with tennis. Up until 9th grade, I played a bunch of different sports, and then in 9th grade, I decided to only play tennis because I loved it so much. It's literally the love of my life. There's nothing I would rather do than be on the court and hitting. What I love about tennis is that it's kind of an all-around sport. It's very, very totally mentally because the majority of the sport is mental, and it's kind of like an iceberg, you know, like 10% of it is physical and then 90% is mental. I just love the feeling of just hitting like a clean like forehand or just nailing a serve. I think it's so fun. I am done peeling the shrimp. And honestly good, because I was taking too long to explain why I like tennis so much and like my story. But the story's gonna keep going, so. So pretty, and I haven't even done anything yet. Wow. So I'm definitely going out of order on the instructions. I'm supposed to toss the shrimp now, but I'm supposed to have like cut up pineapple, so I'm just gonna do that now. I'm just gonna have you see me, you know, showing off my skills. It says you need 1/2 of a small pineapple, but I just have a bunch of slices. I'm not about to go look for a small pineapple. So now I'm gonna start explaining kind of what I did junior year and senior year to get ready for college. I am 5'11", and I'm just too tall for the frame, so I'm squatting right now. So I gotta explain this fast. So junior year, when everyone started preparing for college, I did what you're supposed to do. Like, I took AP classes, I took the AP exams, I got a very good grade on my SAT, and that part was all settled. Like, I was good with that. Also in tennis, I was top 25 in Texas, which was very impressive. I beat the goal that I set for myself going into it, and I was really happy with that too. The only setback that I had for me was my UTR, as I explained earlier. I always knew that I wanted to play Division I tennis. That was always my goal. I mean, it wasn't obviously when I was like 5, but when I started playing junior tennis, that is what I wanted to do. I was getting really excited about it. My parents really pushed me and were really excited for me too. Do you see this pineapple? It's like shaking. Okay. She's a tough one. Yeah, so that was always my goal. When I started reaching out to colleges, first of all, I reached out super late. I reached out the summer before senior year because there used to be a rule that coaches couldn't talk to you until the summer before your senior year. So anyways, I started reaching out to them like late summer, which was really late on my part, and I was pretty unprepared. But luckily my parents helped me, you know, devise emails and, you know, find coaches to send them out to. I wanted to play at a Power 5 conference school. So I reached out to schools like OU, Oklahoma State, Clemson, A&M, Baylor, Nebraska, Wisconsin, like all of those big schools with big football and like huge team spirit, because I have just always wanted that, like the full college experience. I wanted to go to a huge school. A&M was my number one. I loved A&M. I still do to this day. Sad I'm not an Aggie, but I want to play tennis in college. All right, y'all, I just got tired of squatting, so I just cut up the pineapple by myself. All right, so next I have to toss the shrimp in olive oil, so I'm gonna do that. So anyways, as I was saying, I mainly only reached out to those really big schools. A lot of the coaches responded with, thank you for your interest, let me get back to you type deal. And I was like, oh, okay, like, great, you know? But I came to find out that that doesn't really like mean anything. And a lot of them also like rejected me and said my UTR ranking was not high enough for their team by like a long shot. Also, if you didn't know this, I'm just gonna give a random guess number here, but 60 to 70% of women's D1 tennis players are international, which made it really hard for me because obviously they deserve the spots, but it was just really hard because there's such a big pool of people that coaches are looking. Now I'm adding salt and pepper to my olive oil. So basically, so after I got all those responses from the coaches, I didn't take it too harsh because I knew that I still had a lot of time. So I basically thought to myself that if I give myself a little time to get my ranking better, then I'll reach back out again. Then maybe like the results will definitely change. Like I'll get recruited then. So that was the mindset I had. And I still kept reaching out to coaches and literally nothing came out of it, nothing good. That was a little disheartening, I guess. In the fall of senior year, when everybody was applying to colleges, I discussed it with my tennis coach and we decided that I was just gonna apply to 4 to 5 schools just for baseline and for just in case tennis doesn't work out. So I got into all of them, got into all their honors programs, which was yay me, because you're all smart. So I was already into college, but I still needed to be recruited by other schools. Now I'm gonna toss the shrimp in this concoction that I just made. So basically at this point of my recruiting process, I was just really confused and I didn't really know what to do. And I didn't think about reaching out to schools that would be more my level. I was just hoping that I would pull out some great result in a tournament and then be recruited from there. During this whole time, like throughout senior year, it was basically this like back and forth of me emailing colleges and then getting rejected and then talking to my coach and kind of just hoping that something good would happen. But eventually I realized that I would have to look at some other colleges that weren't Power 5, which might seem like an obvious to you, but it wasn't to me. I'm literally sweating. It's okay. I don't know. Oh my! Shrimp down. So basically during all of my senior year also, during this time I had some calls with Division 2 and Division 3 coaches, but I always ended up just feeling uncomfortable and I knew that it wouldn't be the right fit for me. Not saying that Division 2 and Division 3 like are bad, because there are some really amazing schools that are, but Division 1 was always my goal and I kind of had tunnel vision on that, and I knew that there would be some smaller D1 schools that I could potentially play at. Also, another thing that was really hard for me was that people would always ask me where I was going to college, especially towards the later months and especially when I was graduating. And I always just had to say, I don't know yet, and put on a brave face, even though on the inside I felt like absolute crap. But it all ended up okay, so, which is what I told myself. I said, hey, you're gonna commit somewhere and it'll all be okay, and it ended up working out. In May, like a few weeks before graduation, I had a meeting, one of many, with my coach, and we just went through a list of a bunch of schools that hadn't filled all their spots yet, of small D1 schools, and we just hammered out emails. Eventually, one of them emailed back saying, oh, we are very interested in Emma, when can she come visit? And that was my first and only official visit. I went to visit the school, which is the University of Northern Iowa. I enjoyed it. Iowa is obviously a very different state than Texas, and the city that the school is in, it's called Cedar Falls, is very different than Dallas. But after that visit, I thought about it a lot, and I realized that that would be a good option for sure for me to go play at. So I'm done with the shrimp. Roll the shrimp. I'll explain the rest of it when I'm done. All right, y'all, so this is the final product. It looks so good. I can't wait to try it. That aside, to finish my story, so after I visited Northern Iowa, I got an offer. I took some time to think about it, and during that time, I got another offer from another D1 school, and I eventually decided to commit to the University of Northern Iowa. This is their old logo, and this is their new one. I am really excited to go to the University of Northern Iowa and play tennis there. They're sponsored by Nike, which is great, and it's in a good conference, and I know that I'm gonna have a really, really good time. Anyways, that is the end of today's video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Thumbs up for this because it looks delicious, and thumbs up for my terrible, long, but great story at the same time. Also, remember to subscribe because you won't regret it. It's gonna be a good old time. Bye. Pancake. All right, I'll taste test. All right, here's my bite. Yeah, I don't cook, and this is pretty good. Bye.